ESPN and the Professional Bowlers Association present the championship round finals of the PBA Touring Pro Senior Doubles Championship. Never before in the history of the Professional Bowlers Association has a player won a national PBA title in 5 consecutive decades. But tonight, the great Dick Weber, with a victory in the championship match, would set a brand new PBA standard. And welcome to St. Clair Bowl, located in O'Fallon, Illinois. And the championship round pair, lanes 15 and 16. And it appears as if Mark McDowell will start in the left-hand lane.
And that's an interesting thing already, Dan, because that means that Tommy Evans is going to have to anchor it out in the 10th frame, and normally the touring player does that.
Mark McDowell loves to play doubles, and he really enjoys this event. Of course, he and Dick Weber captured this tournament when it was held in Green Bay, and Mark comes out with a strike.
He and Weber also finished second in this tournament, too.
Salvino would like to start quickly. Up the track and high, and he gets a big break with the fact that he goes through the nose and does not leave a split.
Carmen's been struggling with his timing, Dan, and made a change right before he went on the air. And holding the ball out and having a little delayed timing.
Uh-oh, over the thumb hole, and Carmen comes out with an open frame, and he's not happy about it.
He told me that he just was struggling all week long. Watch this. Just hangs on the ball. Comes up at the line, never gets his thumb out of the ball, and that's why it hit the thumb hole. That's embarrassing for Carmen, I know.
Jeff Bellinger will try and put this team back on track quickly. And that's exactly what partners are for.
What doubles competition's all about, Dan. You got to hold one another up.
Tommy Evans, who had an outstanding week, was very helpful to Mark McDowell. Trying to double and extend the lead. And a good shot for Tommy Evans, but he leaves a solid 10-pin. Last year at this time, just across the way in St. Charles, Tommy Evans threw 17 consecutive strikes on national television.
Well, Tommy's been struggling this year. He's been trying to hook the ball a little bit more than he had in the past. He said this week he was going to go back to throwing it straight. We see the results.
Good conversion of the 10-pin.
5-step player, holds the ball waist high. Now he pushes it out. Pretty free swing. Watch it at the top now. It's a little bit early at this point. See, it's at its peak, and the next to last step is not down. Now it's already started, so it wants to beat him to the line, Dan. He fights loses all the time.
McDowell with the light hit, tries to shake out the 7, but it doesn't quite happen. Fiery competitor.
And the difference in his timing is it's slightly later than Evans. He has a little more time to come through, for the thumb to get out of the ball and the fingers to lift it.
Should he win here tonight and add $14,000 to his earnings, he will overtake Eric Forkel and become the tour's leading money winner.
And he knows that.
A spare for McDowell, and I asked him about the pressure and could this be a big night.
Obviously, it'd be a big win for me. The season's winding down, and I think really I'd like to win it with my partner, Tommy Evans. He out-bowled every senior here by a bunch, and he's a big reason why we're here, and it'd be nice to get him his first title.
Salvino crosses over, and he looks a bit confused at this point.
He is confused. Right now, Carmen is struggling with his timing, struggling with his release, but most of all, his confidence is waning.
Took the 10 off the 6 the last trip, and this won't be easy either.
Easy to chop that 5 off the 9. Has it.
Little animation from the man from the Windy City. He's a little steamed at himself.
He's disappointed in himself, right? Yeah, he's trying to motivate himself to get a little adrenaline flowing to do something and force the pins over.
If any player can think himself through it, it'll be Carmen Salvino. Bellinger looking for a messenger that never arrives at the 10 pin. Strong, powerful player who bowled collegiately at the University of South Carolina.
Jeff has always had that powerful forearm, be able to get the ball well out of the lane. In some centers, it helps him. Other centers, it gives him kind of an erratic reaction.
Hard and straight and a spare for Bellinger, and I asked him about bowling this week with Carmen Salvino.
It was quite the experience to bowl with Carmen. I bowled Carmen on my first TV show in Kansas City, and now I get the chance to bowl with him in the doubles, and he's quite an animated player, and he kept me pretty loose the entire week, and he's consistent, and he's everything you could ask for in a senior player.
Mark McDowell would probably echo those sentiments concerning Tommy Evans. He was really happy with the opportunity to bowl with Tommy this week.
And Tommy that just headed right for the heart of the pins from the instant he let it go. The swing was a little away from his body, and it just was on that trajectory right on through.
By and large, the touring players averaged almost 15 pins higher a game than their senior counterparts this week.
Well, they were able to play deeper, Denny, and where there was oil and swing it out and get it back. When the seniors moved in there, the ball didn't want to hit too hard.
Nearly a 6 off the 10, but Tommy gets the job done, slaps Mark McDowell and says, all right, time to go back to work.
Tommy's happy because really he made 2 errant shots and came away with a spare. Almost chops the 6 off the 10. The ball barely hits the 10. Perfect shot.
Good projection that time for Mark McDowell, who utilizes loft maybe as good as anybody on the PBA National Tour.
Let's see what Carmen utilizes right here.
A little more lift.
See the elbow break then? See, he's just fighting his release all the way through. He wanted to trust that, but at the last minute, he said, no, not too far. The traditional thing. Watch him. He's coming right at us now. Watch the arm come through and watch the elbow. His hand will go in front of his body. See the elbow break? That's called the old chicken wing shot.
Hold up,
He's happy with a spare, believe me.
Just trying to survive right now is Carmen Salvino, and he's done that for so many years on the national tour. All he wants to do is get 1 strike for his partner. Good news is they're still in the match.
13 pins can change in a minute.
Beautiful shot for Jeff Bellinger. A strike up in the 6th for the team of Salvino and Bellinger, but they trail at this point to Tommy Evans and Mark McDowell. We'll be back with more from O'Fallon, Illinois, right after these messages. Tommy Evans in the 6th, and he's got a strike up.
Up by 13, can bump it up to 23 with a strike.
Left all the way, Michael.
Last 2 shots.
Looks like he's afraid to trust it.
Well, he knows if he throws it a little bit away, it's not going to hook back up. We see right here 17 to almost 18 miles per hour, 1 board belly. That's a pretty tight line, Dan, right all the way. When you think that ball's on 13 when he lets it go, in the pocket's 17. It's a close match right now.
First open frame for the team of McDowell and Evans. And And now Mark McDowell will try and get his team back on track. Inside angle, and the carrier's there once again.
You see the smile on his face. He wasn't sure whether that was going to get the 5 or not. Watch it. The ball is going to deflect in. It's just going to get the 5, just barely.
McDowell with 3 strikes out of 4 frames.
And the smile. Carmen's got to do something right now.
Oh my, the 5 and the 7 were standing, and then the 360 from the spook Carmen Salvino.
Watch this ball deflect. The head pin goes to the wall. The 5-7's up there. Now somehow the 1 pin knocks over the 7. The head pin comes back off the wall, and they both fall in unison. And Carmen says, hike those hips. Bellinger says, all right. They're in the lead.
Jeff said he saw the entire act this week from Carmen Salvino and enjoyed it. For 3 in a row. Oh, a solid 10 pin. Jeff Bellinger can't believe it stood up.
He really threw it well. Jeff stays behind that ball so well. He has a short backswing and that powerful forearm. I've always, thought he had such a nice, simple game with a very alive ball and wondered why he didn't win more tournaments. Watch how he straightens it out now at the spare. At the 10 pin, he's going to throw hard and straight. Be no turn at all on this shot.
And of course, that's your average builder tonight. The difference between the contemporary players when they spare and maybe the senior players.
And we see the backswing below shoulder height. He's behind that ball all the way. See how the trust is right there? No break of the elbow, just up. Unlike Carmen's elbow broke out. Evans has got a strike here. A little more room. Oh, a bucket crumbler. If we see a replay of that, you'll watch the head pin go by and just clip the 2. Watch it, Dan. The head pin, the 1 has to hit the 2 for the ball to be in the pocket. You see it just clip it, and then that bucket's up there and kind of crumbles.
At the last moment, on a double, McDowell strikes. They lead by 12.
It's back and forth.
McDowell inside. Ball rolls up a little too high, but now he kind of trips out the 4 pin.
Boy, they got an assortment going there. The bucket crumbler and the trip 4. Carmen now needs to just get his act together. As we see the replay and the 2 pin go to the wall and get both the 4 and the 7. Carmen has to get his act together for 1 quality shot.
Players jumping all over the approach. Salvino needs another light hit, and this time the head pin doesn't quite finish off the rest of the stack.
And you see the difference between the younger player and the more mature player. The seniors can't get that ball back when they get it into the oil. Jenny's telling that lady he's just not, the timing's not there. He's not getting his hand out of the ball right.
Oh, that lovely lady has watched a lot of strikes in her day. Carmen makes the spare. Now it's up to his touring partner, Jeff Bellinger, to fill out in the 10th frame. They could still shoot 201.
And they're very much alive in this match if he can do just that, Denny. Again, 1 at a time.
Tommy Evans will have to finish in the 10th.
Right. And he's been anything but solid on that right lane.
One at a time is what Jeff Bellinger is saying, and that was El Perfecto.
Couldn't throw it any better than that, then.
All you have to look back to is that 10 pin that he left in the 8th frame.
He's looking over at the score. Carmen encouraging him, saying that's all right.
Down on one knee, asking for that one. Now this one really changes the scenario.
Well, this puts him at a possible 201. It makes Evans really do something in the 10th frame. More room, more room.
Steered it back in. 6-pin slapped at the 10, but the 10-pin stands, and that could be all she wrote for Salvino and Bellinger. Spare here gives them a game of 191 with an open in the first frame.
Situation, as far as I can see, is he needs 9 pins. 9 pins and he's a winner.
And the best shot of the match for Tommy Evans.
And his partner gives him the high five, I'll tell you. Boy, he threw kind of a fadeaway blower there.
A fadeaway blower?
Watch this. If you see it on replay, the ball is fading at the pocket and still gets the 5. I used to throw a few of those.
A key shot by Tommy Evans locks up game number 1.
Practice shot now. Brooklyn.
And we'll break away here as Tommy Evans and Mark McDowell win game number 1. When we come back, Mike's average builder.
Jimmy has to strike here to set his partner up for the 10th frame. He's got to have this one.
Normally responds well to pressure. Up through the nose, though, and this one maybe hooked a little more than he had hoped.
Didn't come off his thumb and was slow with the speed all the way through. He got it in where he wanted, but it just wasn't the release that he wanted.
4-7-10, not pretty to look at in the 9th frame, or any frame for that matter.
If he doesn't make it, he's just handed the match to McDowell and Evans.
You see the disappointment and disgust all over Jimmy's face. I tell you, he's the type of player that thrives on having to strike to win.
Watch it here. Doesn't get the thumb out of the ball clean. See, that kind of drags there. Well, see the loft on the ball? He hasn't been getting that far out. And it just wasn't the release that he wanted.
226 if Mike Edwards strikes out.
Boy, what a shot. I'll tell you what, if McDowell and Edwards just bowl one another on that left leg, it'd be nothing but X's almost.
They'd already have an Andy Varapapa 300.
What more can Edwards do? He's had 5 opportunities to strike and struck 5 times. But he's got to strike here to give his team any chance at all to win.
A player who has 5 second-place finishes in his career. Truly one of the very talented players on the national tour, just has not been able to break into the winner's circle. And this time perhaps a little too much juice. Overhooked it. And so with a spare, it'll be a game of 216.
And that basically does it. McDowell and Evans, even if they open in the 10th frame, are going to be in the 220s. So, you know, it's a 23-pin deficit right now. Evans just has to stay up, get up, stay behind the foul line, and keep it on the lane.
Mike Edwards made 4 consecutive championship round appearances a year ago.
He was really on a tear there, but couldn't win.
When he does, he's liable to win a bunch. But until that happens, he's going to live with the fact that he just hasn't been able to get to the Firestone. Now, that's the kind of shot that you like to have to win a match, right, Mike?
Everybody likes those kind. I'll tell you what, he's looking better and better and better on that right lane now.
Mark McDowell's up there to let him know that, too, trying to pump up his partner.
You know, this team was leading the tournament most of the way. And they dropped down the last couple, 3 games last night. So they've had a way all week long, just had a little tough spell the last 2 or 3 games.
Well, he's done nothing now but hit the pocket shot after shot. Jimmy Certain and Mike Edwards finish up fourth. Three teams left in this championship. Mark McDowell, who has had the hot hand on lane 15, will start the semifinal game.
Same strategy. They're not changing anything, or everybody's making Evans finish on that right lane. So far, he's responding.
And the first time that we've seen him miss badly, but he gets a break, leaving just the 6-10.
And it possibly could be in between games. Your hand swells a little bit, just not getting out of it clean. He's kind of shaking his hand. That was in the release. He just didn't have the release he wanted.
Hasn't had the chance to shoot too many spares tonight.
Hard and straight at the spare.
Almost a backup ball.
Yeah. Can't chop it that way, Dan. You don't need that power to knock over the spare. You just need for the ball to hit it. Speaking of power.
But also wrapped up with a bit of finesse, too. He doesn't overpower the lanes, Bob Benoit, but he does get the ball to roll heavy. Kind of a funny hit as he leaves the 8-pin.
Interesting style. Little stutter step here. Now it's 5 steps. Now watch the wrist position. Took him a year and a half to learn that. Watch the slides right in time right here. Perfect timing. Nice slide. Just around and through the ball. Perfect balance there. That's how he used to throw the ball on his first ball. Right there. He used to go almost that straight. He didn't make any money out here. Went home, worked on his game, developed that other style. Now he's won a lot of money.
PBA Hall of Famer Nelson Burton Jr. with his first shot on lane 15.
He's also won a lot of money.
And he also goes pretty straight. High into the pocket, leaves the 4-pin.
Interesting that both teams have chosen to have the senior member anchor it out in the 10th frame.
Of course, they'll anchor on different lanes in this game, which is something we haven't seen thus far. It was funny because when you mentioned that, I talked to Bob Benoit. I said, well, will Nelson Burton anchor? He said, well, we haven't decided yet. But he said, hey, this guy's won 17 titles. If he wants to anchor, he knows how to get it done.
Hey, that's pretty good thinking.
Yeah.
Really. Looks good.
Beautiful shot for Tommy Evans after a slow and inconsistent start. He's kind of locked into lane 16.
Well, he was the leading senior all week long as far as knocking the most pins down by far.
Looking to extend the lead to 11 pins if he strikes on the left-hand lane is Mark McDowell, current PBA president.
Oh, it hit it, but it didn't knock it over. The old equalizer there, or whatever. The pocket 7-10. Let's watch it, Den. See if the head pin goes in front of the 7 and the 5-pin behind. 5-pin just short. The head pin went in front. The 5-pin got out of the way of the head pin coming off the wall.
Earlier this year, out in Fresno, Mark was the tournament leader, opened the title game with a pocket 7-10, and Dave D'Entremont went on after throwing the first 6 to defeat him. Or he would already have 3 titles.
Same hip. 10 of them went down.
Now Nelson Burton will try for the first double of the match. The Burton clan looks on, and I think prayers are being offered up, so Dad might end up with a double, and the prayers are answered. And I had a chance to talk to Nelson. I asked him the difference between bowling singles and doubles.
Well, the doubles is different, but I've had great success in the doubles. I've won the regular PBA doubles. I've won the doubles in ABC competition. I won the regional doubles with my brother, and I won a couple other tournaments with Harry Smith. And really what I try to do is keep my partner encouraged, make him feel like I'm doing well all the time, and make him feel very confident in me, and I think that brings out the best in your partner.
And when you throw doubles, that helps the cause.
Well, when you have confidence in your partner and he has confidence in you, it's a growing thing. It feeds off one another, and you just seem to get better and better.
Pretty good shot by Tommy Evans, but he ends up with the 4-pin. It's a 21-pin lead now for Benoit and Burton. What, if any, change for Mark McDowell, Mike, after that bad break on the left-hand lane?
No change. I mean, you just come back and throw it in the pocket, and same hit, get 10 pins this time.
Mark McDowell has been superb on the left-hand lane tonight.
A little bit tight, a little bit high. So he's been high, light, and now a little high again. That motion there, it's like he's trying to find the stroke. It's not just coming off exactly the way that he wants to. You know, pro bowlers are always fighting their release, and it's never quite as good as you want it to be.
Is it harder to get that kind of a release, say in the championship round? Does pressure add to making it more difficult to get out of the ball?
I wouldn't think so at this particular point in time, because the nerves are gone. They've won 2 matches. They got confidence. It's just an adjustment that he's got to make in the middle of this game.
Benoit could open this way up if he strikes here. His team leads by 23. Beautiful shot for Bob Benoit.
And he's using a ball that he hadn't used earlier in the week. He's changed what they call the pin position, so it comes down a little bit and finishes a little bit harder at the back end. And we look at this. Very slow speed, 16.3. Belly's at 7 boards. Look at it. It goes all the way from 19 out to 8.5 down at 45 feet and then back to board 17 at the pocket.
Burton to keep the streak alive. Another frozen rope, and he ends up with a 4-pin.
What a difference in styles. These two guys definitely can't line up one another, that's for sure.
That's what Nelly said when he came into the building tonight, and I said, hey, but opposites attract.
Look at this. That's a half a board Belly. 13 to 13.5, and then it's at 15 at 45 feet, where Benoit's is at 8. And again, the pocket's 17 then.
A lot of different ways to get there.
There's an
A must-strike situation for Tommy Evans.
I think so, Dan. 32 pins behind. This is the 6th frame. They got to get going. Game gets over in a hurry.
Especially when you only get 5 shots.
Oh, what a break that was. The 4-9 on a nicely stroked bowling ball. Just doesn't look like it's their game. They've had 2 good games, and sometimes that momentum runs out. Watch it here, a little bit tight. The ball drives through on those phenolic pin decks. 2-pin misses the 4, and the ball chops the 5 right off the 9.
Well, Tommy's a very accurate player. Let's see if he can slide the 4 over.
Almost, not enough. You're aiming at about 1/8 of an inch at 60 feet.
A 4-9 in the 6th. The door opens up now for Benoit and Burton. All they have to do is pretty much finish out the game, and they'll be bowling for the title. Well, you could tell that McDowell went for it all on that shot, and he paid the price as he waves goodbye to the national television audience and those in attendance here in O'Fallon, Illinois.
It's amazing how it could turn around so quickly. They were cruising along. They looked so good the last game, and now they're playing tic-tac-toe with the Donuts definitely winning.
That is a long way out there in Montana. Ever been out there, Mike?
My wife's father lives out in Montana.
No kidding.
In Missoula.
Wonder if he's going to the fight.
No, he's a fisherman.
Well, this is a freebie for Nelson Burton Jr. His team leads by 56. Oh, it looked like Nelson swung that ball a couple of boards.
He lost it then. He took the ball off the rack in between frames. He fiddled with the thumb hole and it looked like he took a piece of tape out and then he dropped it. Bo is always bowled with an extremely tight thumb hole. And right now he's struggling a little bit with his release, although the old adage, if you leave this thing, you know, you just throw the same shot to make it.
I'll bet he makes it.
I wouldn't bet against him.
Oh, by a whisker. An open frame, but they can afford one at this stage in the match.
Well, you know, you can still do it with a pencil. They can still go out for 192. So, you know, they've got both feet in the grave, but they're not dead yet.
Tommy Evans trying to help the cause, and you can see a little tug on that shot, trying to help it to the pocket.
One strike the whole game. Mark McDowell, who couldn't miss on that left lane, has not had a strike the entire game.
It ends so quickly, you know, Mike. I mean, you're out there, you're just gliding along. You're thinking, all right, we'll get rid of Burton and Benoit. We'll have Weber and Justin Romick, and we'll win this thing. And whew, 111 in the 8th. That's a long way from 248.
Oh, boy. This game will humble you dead so fast.
Ah, there's a strike. And Mark says, I'm done. I'll see you later. Of course, he'll pick up that third place money, and he's chasing Eric Forkel right now.
And of course, at the end of the year, when everybody computes things, the players look at things. How many championship rounds, you know, what's the average, how many match play finals. They don't just look at the total money or the total number of wins.
Pins you hear falling in the background. Those being knocked down by Dick Weber and Justin Romick. They are the top seeds. Bob Benoit saying, bring them on. We're ready for them. A little better release that time for Nelson Burton, who strikes. This one is all over the semifinal. And when we come back, we'll look at our Midas Championship reign.
At Denny's, you get more than a great value.
All right, down to the final two tandems here this evening. Nelson Burton Jr., Bob Benoit take on Justin Romick and the legend, Dick Weber.
And the way the strategy is going to work now is the turning player will finish the 10th frame on both teams.
Burton finished with 3 strikes in the semifinal. Let's see if he picks up right where he left off. And he does.
See, no lose there. He got that, found the secret with the release, with the right piece of tape or a half a piece of tape or whatever he's doing. But right now he's got the release down.
Weber comes out playing in the track area and didn't look like that ball got off his hand very good.
A little bit quick with the feet, which has always been Dick's problem. He's always working to slow down. The only good thing about this is that he kind of just dumps it out here. Again, the only good thing, he doesn't lose any count. He just needs to make the spare.
Had 2 pins separated from the head pin.
He's saying now that the 2 pin is not on spot. We can hear
2
he is
pins
mic'd.
separated from the head pin.
So Johnny, go over and take a look at it. If we have
See, if
enough
I hit
wire.
that on the left, I'm gonna miss the 8 pin.
He has the privilege in the right, as we can see, that the 2 pin looks like it's not on the spot. To make, well, evidently it was the head pin that was off spot. The pins need to be on spot. That's all he wants.
It's all a good pro can ask for. Eyesight's still intact.
Ooh.
Weber fights his way through. That's
There, Jace.
The ball just barely hits the 2 and hangs on to get the 8. Weber, who is wearing a mic, as is Burton. Be interesting if there's any comments along through the game.
I know one thing. You'll hear Weber cheering this youngster on because Justin Romick did just that throughout most of the week. Throw lots of strikes.
Well, in the interview, Jake said he had a good horse and he was riding him.
Had the spurs out and everything. Tough break for Benoit, who has pretty much just quietly gone about his business here this evening.
As he always does. He's a very professional competitor. He's won a lot of money, won 3 tournaments out here. Of course, he bowled the famous 300 against Mark Roth in the Quaker State a few years back. Won $127,000 that day. Watch how straight he throws it at the 10 pin.
Benoit, an outstanding doubles player. Of course, he and Dell won the normal doubles last year. They've made the telecast 4 out of 5 years, and obviously he's a good partner to have.
He likes the format. He likes the idea of bowling with somebody else.
Burton back up the track. This time can't quite get the 10 pin to fall.
Right in the pocket, though, Dan. I mean, quality shot there. I think that the question in this match is going to be whether Weber can get any strikes on the right lane. Cross lane at the 10. Get a little thumping action there as he kills the shot and it goes even straighter.
Weber not wasting any time up on the approach, and Dick would like nothing better than to get this ball in the pocket.
Trying to fall back. See his hand go over the top and he dumped it right into the floor. He just forced that shot all the way, trying to steer it to the pocket.
Threw that ball bad.
Watch the hand go over the top. Follow through goes to the right, indicating the ball is going left.
Which is what it did, and he was fortunate that it held pocket, and he left just the 4 pin. A wide smile from the splendid Splinter.
Well, he's trying to do something to get himself loose. I mean, you come out, you got a bowl match. You only get 5 shots. He's only got 3 left.
Of course, he's wondering if he doesn't win tonight, will he have another chance?
That's always going through his mind.
Jace.
Romick cranks it up.
Back you go. Wait.
Just
Way to go, Justin. Way to go, baby.
The rack.
Way to work out there.
Dick's
Way to work out there.
famous son, Pete, looks on. You can see Pete right now. He'd love to be out there bowling with Dan.
Boy, look at those competitive eyes. He's just watching these competing.
Got the new haircut for the telecast tonight.
It's different.
I think you should maybe go for the mohawk.
Go for the mohawk.
Huh?
Yeah.
Next week, maybe. I'll talk to Debbie. Benoit right back in the pocket, and once again the 10 pin a little stubborn.
Well, they got a turkey, but it's 3 10 pins instead of 3 strikes.
Not much talking going on in the bowler circle.
Serious business right now, Dan. You know, no joking and no kibitzing, and really not a lot of encouraging going on right now.
How tough is it rhythm-wise, Mike, to bowl just every other frame?
I don't think that presents a problem. Really, you know, especially if you're like I was, and I always said I was the best one-alley bowler on tour, you know, so you don't have to worry about that other lane.
Steady head of Nelson Burton Jr. back into the pocket. Can't coax the 10 down. Well, this one, let me ask you a question. Are these guys squeezing it a little bit now?
I don't think so. I think those are all quality shots.
They look like it.
That ball's coming off Bo's hand much better this game than it did the last game.
You can see he's puzzled. He thought that was a strike on the left-hand lane. back to work. Make sure you take out the 10.
He will.
End over end she rolls. Nelly looks upstairs, and he's hoping for a break.
Weber is trying to make a quality shot.
And that gentleman right there is responsible for the PBA Touring Pro Seniors Championship here in O'Fallon. Weber got it off his hand, down on one knee, and that's a key.
Come on, right here, right here.
Oh, look at Weber.
Get in there.
Boy, he came alive with that
Right
one, didn't he? He knew that he threw it well as soon as he let it go. Down on the knee, flush in the 1-3 pocket, all 10 in the pit. And now he wants his partner as he slides it out to get one more.
Come back here. Yeah, all right out there. Way to work out there, Pudge. Way to work out there. Way to go.
Of course, he said that many times to Ray Bluth. He and Bluth won the Bowling Proprietors Association of America doubles 4 times back in the 50s and early 60s.
He's an encouragement to be around. He's an enjoyable person.
Benoit and Burton down by 23. Bob needs to make something happen. He's hit the pocket the last 2 trips and make it 3 straight 10-pin.
All right, Frank.
For Benoit, 5 straight for the team.
They're in a rut.
You know, you get in that situation where you just can't do anything but leave a 10-pin, and you try and make some kind of an adjustment, usually to tighten up the line, and usually the 10 winds up having company.
Patience.
Well, it's more difficult to have patience when you hit the 7th frame down by 24 pins.
Nelson Burton Jr. in the 7th, down by 24, and would like nothing better to get something started. A little more speed. And this time, Nelly gets him to roll and fall down.
Weber wastes no time. He doesn't even want to think about this shot. He just wants to let his instincts take over.
Good speed. Oh, and Weber tried to dice up the rack. And Juanita looks on, and she's just trying to hang on at this point in time.
Still a match.
Ooh, he liked that shot. Look at him. He's fired up.
Well, he knew, though. He was watching the 7-pin all the way. He knew it was a little weak. You really see the difference between the yesteryear player and the contemporary player and the amount of revs that these young kids get.
Little stick. 7-pin disappears.
Come on. Got to have you, Jace. Got it. Right, Justin, right here, baby.
This week on Special Demolition Cheaps.
Justin looking for that right feel.
Carey. Yeah.
Oh, is that ball?
All right, baby, all
live?
right.
Wow.
Way to go,
Nothing
way
but
to go,
strikes
Fudge.
for Justin Romick, and he, of course, has set up the hammer in the 8th. Weber will bowl in the 9th.
But right now, there are key shots in a match, and this is a key shot right now for Bob Benoit and Nelson Burton Jr.
One of the better clutch players on the tour. One would suspect that Benoit would rise to the occasion.
He did. He did. Each shot becomes more important, and I mean, that was a key shot, but for them to win, Burton's got to set it up for the 10th frame. And we see again the 16.3 speed, the ball out to the 8th board at 45 feet. Very similar to what he had before.
Strike here would cut the lead to 3.
High.
Real high.
See the thumb go down, the follow through go right. Both playing that tight line. Under pressure, the tendency is to let it go left. Watch him. Now he's aiming a very tight line here. See the follow through go right? The ball goes left. right to the heart of the pins, and full penalty. The 4-7-10, the same thing. Jimmy Certain left in the same frame.
Benoit and Burton now in double jeopardy. Nelly gives it a run. Oh, nearly took out the 10. That would have been a dandy.
The Weber and Romick are in a commanding position right now.
Double here, and it's good night.
Spare, and they're awful good shape.
He got a handful. Hey,
all right,
look at Weber.
Right here. Right here, right here. Right here. Right here, Grace.
Just a quick peek at the incredible record of Dick Weber. And very close to notching yet another
What do you say?
winner in 5.
Yeah, all right out there, partner. Way to go out there. Beautiful. One more out there.
Said earlier this week, Justin came back after missing a 10-pin in the 10th frame. He had shot 246. Dick had shot 245. And Dick said he came up to me and said, Mr. Weber, I'm so sorry I missed that 10-pin. Dick said, first of all, you don't have to call me Mr. Weber. And second of all, you beat me. You shot 246.
All right, folks. Just gorgeous out there. Just gorgeous out there, baby.
You know, if I remember right, last year, Rick Steelsmith,
What a
who is
horse.
Justin Romick's good friend, was perfect on the left lane with 7 strikes, and Justin Romick with 1 more strike is going to be perfect with 7 strikes on the left lane. It was a team effort. Weber got 2 key strikes, both for doubles. 5 decades.
He's thrown a lot of key strikes through the years, and it pays off tonight. Romick finishes things off with a solid 9, but it doesn't make any difference. Dick Weber, a winner here near his hometown of St. Louis.